we are. This is going to cover the employee section of the OE tier, how to add an employee and some of the key features of that. You can access it through here on these hot link buttons, or just come up to the employee tab and go from there. So first we're going to view the different employees that we have. Now, employee function in our software has two functions. Well, one, you set up the employee and it'll give them login access. You can set up commissions for that employee. So when you print a timesheet, it'll give you commissions that they've earned. And then you turn on and off in the different areas of the program where that employee appears. And what I mean by that is the system is designed for fitness clubs, big picture, as I mentioned in the other video. And one of the functions of a fitness club is when they schedule things at their center, primarily they're scheduling personal training appointments. And so the columns that are staked out on the calendar and at the club tier are defined by the employees that you set up. But of course, you don't want all of your employees appearing there. And for an OsteoStrong center, you don't really need to assign anything to a specific employee, because when a member comes in to visit, they're coming in for an osteogenic loading session or whatever other service you're offering that's offered by any of your OsteoStrong team members. And so since the OsteoStrong centers are focused primarily on first-time appointments and recurring visits, we set up employee names. These are just basically dummy employee names, first and recurring, and then Team OsteoStrong, where you can record notes, are set up as employees in the system to stake out the spot on the calendar. And that's why they're there. The other employees, well, they're just like any other employee that you're going to add. And we'll take a look at one of these. And so when you click Add an Employee, you come here and you're adding the employee. Some of the data that you're putting in here, I often enter what's dummy data when I'm adding an employee. You'll select, country, et cetera, for all of this. And when you're adding the employee, the elements of that ad are, well, I got hung up on that particular part. The elements that you're adding appear on their employee timesheet. So it's not being used for anything. So I always tell people, if you don't have the employee data in front of you, the only thing you really need is a person's email address so that they can get their login ID. So when you add the employee, you simply capture their information here. Again, you don't need a birthday for your employee because it's doing nothing with that data other than printing it. And then you click the Assign Club button. This will assign all the clubs that you open, all the different OsteoStrong centers that you have open. So for example, you can have one employee working at one club, and then you're like, well, I want them to have access to my other centers, and you just assign them to that other center. And then you select the role that they have, club admin, manager, or staff restricted access, and then click active. And then that person is added as an employee to that center. Now, remember that part I was telling you about that said, hey, you got to stake out where you want them to appear in the program. Well, I don't want this person to appear on my calendar because I'm not going to be assigning any first-time or recurring appointments to them. And so to adjust that, we come to drop-down settings, and that's the areas in the software where an employee is going to appear. And here it's just simply that you uncheck the various calendaring options, and so we don't want any of those appearing for that. And then these other parts you do, and you just click Save. You're going to notice this, and this is going to be one of those things that you just frankly, you're going to forget when you set up your next employee, and you're going to go down to your club calendar. You're going to be, hey, I suddenly got, Bob, who I hired just recently, appearing on my calendar. And then you're going to remember this conversation with me later going, I remember Matt said something about that. I always tell people don't stress over that. Just don't stress on that. Give support a call. They'll be happy to help you out with that. So there you go on that. So commissions, most OsteoStrong centers are not paying their employees commissions. And so I don't cover that in training. One of the things I do cover, though, is this question mark up here. This button up here, pulls up a help menu of all the different functions of the program. Keep in mind this is written for all of our fitness club clients, and so you'll see stuff in here that you're like, oh, that's not OsteoStrong specific. We have this video and our other videos in our OsteoStrong specific training area. But things like commissions and, when you want to get into really a lot of the granular detail are covered here. And that's what I let people know there. I'm like, hey, just go in to watch that video and it'll tell you how to define those commissions. Okay. Other employee functions at the club tier that you can do, and I guess I'll go ahead and cover these right now. It's covered for the employees, but they've got a clock in, clock out feature, and that's primarily the main thing you're going to want them to do. And for them to clock in, it's just simply time clock, check the employee off, and Gene, and he's now clocked in. Okay, and then when he leaves for lunch or another shift, you just click the clock out button and he's done. So that's the main thing on the employee setup. I'll wrap this up. That covers the high level and the medium level for how to set up employees. Any questions? Contact support at iGo360.com.